Okay, so in this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to create this letterhead. I'm just going to walk you through the steps that I would take with regards to creating this. I do have the logo already created, so ideally you want to start with a logo. Okay, so what we're going to do in InDesign is File, New, Document. Okay, so I'm in Picas here, so before I even go back to that, go to my InDesign CC, pull down Preferences, go to Units and Increments. Again, like we did a few times, pull it down to inches. Okay, hit OK. Now you can do File, New, Document. I'm not sure why this is still showing in Picas, but if it does do that to you, you can always do 8 inches and it'll still understand it. I'm sorry, 8.5 inches, and then it automatically will convert it to Picas, and 11 inches, and hit OK, and it will give you an 8.5 by 11 document. So I want to double check mine. Document setup. I'm not sure why it's not working for me, so I'm going to again check my preferences. Oh, now back to Picas, so inches. Okay. So now double checking, file, document setup, I'm in inches. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be flipping back and forth to figure out how I created this here. Okay, so ideally I have a logo, and I'm creating some strokes, some lines, some boxes, adding some text, and then I'm adding my logo again with an opacity setting on it. Okay, this happens to be a bike company. So what I'm going to start doing first is File, Place, or the shortcut key is Command D. Okay, I like the shortcut, so Command D. Okay, I have to look for my image. Okay, so I have my logo. I find my logo wherever I have it stored, hit open. And then what it does, before I click it and see it on my screen, you'll notice I can drag this around my screen. InDesign wants me to click it to place the image, but it gives you a little view of the image first. So I click and then it drops it in. Okay, this is very big. So like I showed you before, we need to size this down. Make sure this lock constrains the proportions for scaling. That's what it means. Okay, all you need to do is click on one. I would bring it, let's say, maybe 75%. Whoops, more than that. 25% of its size. I'm going to say, let's do 50, and then we'll do another 90. And you have to do it a few times. I did 50, 90, and then 75. So this is around the size we want. Notice you can pull out your rulers if you want to see where I have mine. So I'm going to pull it out from the left edge. I have mine about going as far as about the P. The edge of the P is at like 2 3/4. Remember, those are invisible guides. They do not print. The edges of your box do not print, of your picture box. If those lines bother you, you can do Window, pull down to, View, pull down to Extras, hide framed edges, and then it goes away. You can also do View, Grids, hide guides, and it will take it all away. For now, I think you should use your grids or your guides. Okay, so what we're going to do now is create this line and the box. Okay, I'm going to click on this line. Right now I know that this line is a stroke, and it's a 14-point stroke. Okay, so what I do want to do is I want to sample this orange color in my logo. So I'm going to click using the eyedropper tool. If I click on this tool, hold it down, it will give me the eyedropper tool. If I click that orange, you're going to notice that that orange color is now in my fill. You can see it up here also. So that makes it really easy. So I'm going to click my line tool, which is 1, 2, 3, 7 tools down, and I am going to draw a line hold my mouse down, drag it to the right. If I want to constrain my portions, hold my shift key. It will give me a straight line, which is what you should do. Ideally, you want to flip this because we don't want to fill a box, we want to stroke. So if you take these little arrows and flip-flop them, it will take that orange color and make it the stroke color. And I think we said this was 32 point stroke. Let me see, what did I say here? Oh no, a little too much here. 14 points, excuse me. So click on your line, change that instead of 32, 14. Okay, so now there's our line. Okay, so we're trying to make it look like this. So now we need a gray. The gray here is a 60% black. So what we're going to do is take our rectangle tool, draw a line, a rectangle. So it automatically remembers your fill color. So we need to change our fill color. So I'm going to go right to the fill, change it to black, but we want it to be gray. So with the black selected, you can change the tint to be 60% gray. And there you go, you have your gray. Okay, so this goes off to the edge, so we need to adjust that also. So we need to pull this off, this down, and this we need to pull to the left also. Okay. And then our logo is somewhat centered in there, so we'll probably have to... Now notice if I click on the inside of my logo image, it gives me that little hand. What the hand does is it allows me to move the image within the box. I wouldn't do that because then you are risking getting part of the image cut off. This is what happens a lot. You see this? How the image gets cut off. So what you want to do is click on the edge of your box so that you don't see the hand. When you see like an arrow, then you can move your box wherever you want. When you see a hand, don't drag around. That's the best advice that I can give you. Okay. Ours is a little larger than my demo, but I'm going to make it like 90% smaller. Again, click by the edge so you don't see that little hand. And that's sort of the idea. Actually, I'm going to move it up a little bit. You can adjust everything. I'm going to select more than one image. I can do click and then shift click and then move everything up together. You can do that with as many items as you want. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is add some text. I'm going to copy and paste this text, but you're going to have to type it out. It's going to be white, and it's going to be, if you have this font on the machines, Bangla. Yeah, the font is Bangla, 10 point on 16 lead. So, text tool, going to make a text box. You're going to type this in, and I'll make this larger for you to see. And it is Bangla 10 on 16. If you don't have that font on your machine, any font will do. 10 on 16 would be preferable, so whatever font will fit in that area. Okay, so that's the text that you want to put in there. Again, you can move that wherever you'd want. You're going to color it how you color fonts again. Highlight all the fonts, and then you go to click your fill. When you're in a text box and you go to fill, it automatically knows that you're coloring text. You may need to adjust where your text goes. And the last part of this is you're going to take your logo and you're going to add opacity on it and make it larger. So I'm going to take my logo. I'm going to, you can right click, copy, click in another area, and then right click paste. Or you can do the shortcut key, which I like. Control C and then Control V as in Victor. Okay. Either way works. It's exactly the same. Okay, I'm going to make that new logo pretty large. Just keep looking at it. Larger. I want it to like fit in that bottom portion. If it gets really big and your edges are wide like mine are, you can always grab the edge and bring it in. It's just a white background, so I know it's fine. Okay, make it a little smaller. Okay, just a lot larger. And then what I'm going to do is up here on my measurements bar where it says the percentage, when I click on that and I move the slider down, it'll give me a percentage of my logo. The percentage I want is 50%. So I'm going to adjust that to 50. And voila. I'm going to look at it without hiding my guides. And there you are. You have letterhead that you designed. I wouldn't design it like this. I mean, as far as I would definitely, you make sketches beforehand and then you decide on a layout and then you create the layout. You don't create it as you go in InDesign. So, and you will see in when we're further on in class that I definitely encourage sketching beforehand to figure out your designs. Then it will make your InDesign experience a lot easier. But you did a great job, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.